Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, April 2nd of 2023. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives that create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. Today's topic is peace, not polarization. Peace, not polarization. And this, I was inspired to speak about this today because I watched a docuseries this past week, and I've completed all but 2 hours of it. But it was about the many forces that have worked together, that have come together to create this amplified level of polarization that we're experiencing especially in the US, but I think it's all over the world in our recent years. And this has happened, I think, to greater extremes in other countries prior to this. So I don't want to downplay any of that by just being totally US focused here. But as docuseries do, there are a lot of interviews. And what I was really noticing is in the interviews where, the people seem to be really polarizing and really, like preaching the we gotta fight, we gotta fight, we gotta fight. And, what they were saying, even in a lot of the phrases that they were saying, sound a lot like what we say here. And then they would interview other people that were, emanating peace or talking about peace, sharing a message of unity. Underneath all of it was pretty much the same like values and needs that were being expressed, but it was just, to what end, right? What end were they calling? What action were they calling people to? To what end were they wanting to see? And, it's like we all want the same things. None of us wants to be deceived and manipulated by a corrupt government. No one wants to see evil and darkness perpetuated. And yes, we want to stand up to truth, for truth and stand up for, against that which causes harm to ourselves and to others, right? Of course, we all want that same thing, but to what end and in what way do we want to go about it? Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. Are you being the change, right? What is the vision for the change you wish to see? Who does it call you to be? How does it call you to be? Are you being that? And Buckminster Fuller said, and I like this one, we use this, Silas Rao in the Climate Healers, a group that I'm a part of, has used this on his website for some time. You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. And I know in some of this, the things that we are in fear of about what's happening in our government, in some cases, we can do that more easily than others. However, what model are you living into? If we truly are, and I believe we truly are, we've talked about this quite a bit, if we are truly transitioning into this era of peace and universal harmony, we need to be the change now. We need to live the change in the models of the systems that we're living into right now and be that right now. Live that right now. Adopt a system. We talk a lot about our systems with our food system and with our financial systems and all of the things. We need to do everything that we can at this time to live into a system that we want to have in place when we are living in the era of peace, one that will sustain us in an era of peace and universal harmony, right? So are we doing this? Can we do this? To what extent can we do this? What is it that is in your heart? What is it in your heart to live? How it is in your heart to be? Who is it in your heart to be? What is it in your heart to be? So that's what we're going to explore today in our meditation and healing circle. So let's go ahead and come into our circle. Let's come into our circle sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you, we ask you to send your essence of your pure divine light. Just imagine, feel, perceive this pure divine light streaming into the center of our circle. As you are sitting in this circle, let this light come to rest upon your skin and let it be absorbed into your body. The light is a light of cleansing, purifying, and as it cleanses and purifies that which is not of the purity of the truth, it illuminates that which is and awakens us, right? The light illuminates and awakens as well as cleanses and purifies. So let this light just be absorbed in through your pores. Like when you sit in the warm sun and you love that feeling of the sun, especially after it's been cold for a long time. You sit in the sun and you love that feeling of the sun resting on your skin, and you just feel it come all the way into your body, and you want it to come in and warm your bones. Let it come all the way in. Absorb it in through your pores, through your skin. Let it warm your blood. Let it warm your tissues. Let it warm all the way into your bones. And let it come all the way in the bones of your spine and your spinal column, and all the way into your center energy body, that core energy that runs through the top of your head and all the way through the very center of your body, halfway front to back, halfway side to side, right in the core. And let that light come all the way in. We invoke the divine attribute of light. We want to call on it by a sacred name we call Yah Nur. Yah Nur. You may have another sacred language that you use. You're welcome to use that and call on the pure divine light as one of the attributes and the powers of the universal divine essence. Yah Nur. Yah Nur. And use your breath to inhale that all the way into the core of your body. And as you exhale, just let yourself drop down and land into your hips, into your pelvic bowl. Feel yourself rest into your pelvic space. Anchor your energy into your lower dantian space, your center of gravity in your physical body. And lean back into your body, into this vertical core, like you're standing under a gentle waterfall. And be in that energy, that life force energy at the center of your body. And again, together, let's call on our source. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate, we call on you. We ask you to send your essence of your unconditional love. Just imagine, perceive this pure, unconditional love streaming into the center of our circle like a gentle waterfall. And as you rest into this place in your body, just feel it streaming in and streaming over you like a gentle waterfall. You've been out in the nice warm sun, absorbing the warmth from the rays of the sun. Excuse me. And let this gentle, pure waterfall just stream over you, just raining this pure, unconditional love. And again, let the pores of your skin absorb in that pure, unconditional love all the way in, all the way in. And let your body be like a sponge, like a dry sponge that is absorbing in all of the moisture into all of its cells And this moisture is pure, unconditional love. And this pure, unconditional love loves. It loves unconditionally. So every part of your being is made to know love and to want love and to absorb love. So let all of your being, every cell of your being, absorb this unconditional love, a love that does not depend on conditions. Conditions are from the human beings, not from the love. Love loves. Even if we have conditions, love is still loving. So let all of the parts of you be loved. And you have a funnel of energy that extends from the front of your heart space, from the center of your chest. Let that funnel, let that just tip up and receive this gentle waterfall of pure unconditional love into the center of your heart. And let this be like a breathing portal, and inhale it in. Inhale it into your heart center. And as you exhale, just let your heart space, let it release any tension, constriction, the blocks and barriers, as the poet Rumi says. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all of the barriers within yourself that you have built against it, right? These are the conditions that the human being puts on an unconditional love. Love has no conditions. So let that love just, it's water. It's water. Let it flow around those blocks and barriers you have in your heart. As you exhale, let it be like the waves of the ocean that just carry those blocks and barriers into the depths of the ocean where they can be transmuted, transformed, and released. Released from your being, and let your being be flooded with love. Let your heart be loved. If your chest is feeling particularly tight or constricted, I know there's some heavy things in the topic that we're talking about today. You can give it a tapping to your heart center, to your chest, and tap, like tap from the center of your chest, and use your breath to just release anything that wants to release as you loosen that up with your tapping. And you can tap all the way to the sides, underneath your collarbones, on each side, and even up into into the sides of your neck on either side. You've got a lot of lymph in this space. So you could just maybe use the intention, which is a light brushing there, that this lymph be drained. The lymphatic system, the lymph in the body is really helpful to get that moving in order to clear stuck energies. It's amazing how moving the lymph in the system can help to clear the energies from the body that get, like, hold that duck stuff that we don't necessarily want to hang on to. Just let that release with a gentle brushing and tapping of the chest space and the sides of the neck and throat. Bismillah. And the divine attribute for that unconditional love is Wadud. Wadud. And in our Ocean of Sound program this last month, we focused on the sound of the D, the D, like the dal in the Arabic language. D, just the simple D. And the simple D, it's like it carries the meaning of the evidence of the divine essence. And the Wa, so in the name of Wadud, which is the name of unconditional love, the Wa is that it is that all-encompassing and all-inclusive of everything, right? Unconditional, all-inclusive of everything. The Wa is the big and the D being the evidence. And there's a dud, so there is an evidence, and then on each side of that dud part, right? And the ooh in the middle, excuse me, represents, I'm so sorry. It represents the ever spiraling, infinitely spiraling emanation of creation into existence. And it is that the ooh sound is the divine beauty, like you see in a seashell. It's that Fibonacci sequence, that the golden ratio that is found so many places in nature, in the petals of the flowers, in the seashells, and also in the cosmos, in the galaxies, and in the stars, and in everything that you see, and in the physical body as well, in the heart, as many places where that ratio is found in the body. So it's everywhere in nature, and it's representative of that ever emanating, spiraling uh, uh, creation that is like the divine beauty that we recognize when we see that in nature, and we say, wow, and it's beautiful, right? We recognize the beauty. So the name Wadud, which is the unconditional love, is made from the all encompassing evidence in the infinitely spiraling emanation of the divine beauty in creation. So it's just, Wadud, that is the unconditional love. And so take that in, let it touch into every cell of your being. And again, we call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your essence of the eternal compassion, the eternal compassion. We ask you to send your essence of the eternal compassion. This is our Rahman, which is all about the radiance of the, the breath of spirit into this fluid essence of manifestation, and it is the womb of the entirety of our existence, that which holds and contains everything in a container of safety, in a container of nourishment, in an all-encompassing one body of existence, in a womb of compassion. This is what contains this ocean of living consciousness that we are all a part of. So let your entire being, as you draw in with your breath, this pure divine light, the unconditional love, let your entire being just drop down and rest into this ocean of eternal compassion. Let yourself be held in this love and this safety and this acceptance and this pure compassion, pure unconditional compassion. Right? None of the divine attributes have conditions. They are what they are, and they exist as they exist. We human beings, with our free will, put conditions. We put up blocks and barriers. If you let yourself really receive in this moment, even the parts that say, but I can't receive, let them receive too. Just let the waters of light and love and compassion flow around them, and let your entire being rest into this ocean. Feel yourself held and supported in this ocean, and loved and loved and loved and loved and loved and loved. Now move into today's topic is about peace, not polarization. Peace, not polarization. I want to invite you to feel into your heart. Feel into your heart in this moment. No doubt, this can be a confusing subject, right? It can be a confusing subject, and I'm not here to say that I have all the answers by any means, because there is a lot of what happens in our world that is really, it's scary to the survival instincts of our humanity. And that fear, right? That fear is what really polarizes us. When we are experiencing fear, it really does polarize us. And, we've been talking a lot about transitioning into this era of peace, the age of Aquarius, shifting our dimensions, right? Our level of consciousness into higher dimensions. And Bismillah. I know we've talked about this before as well. I believe that as we elevate our consciousness and shift into higher dimensions, that we have a different experience of the material realm. And if you were a part of the ocean, if you attended the Ocean of Sound Summit, one of our speakers that we featured was Dr. Ibrahim Karim, amazing human being. And he talked about what does not appear to be materialized in one dimension, within its own dimension, will have a materialization. So, in other words, what we see, feel, touch, experience in one dimension may not exist in another dimension, and vice versa, right? When we elevate our consciousness into higher levels, into other dimensions, right? Higher dimensions, we may have a completely different experience than what we're having here and now. So as we're elevating our consciousness and moving into this realm of unconditional love and compassion and universal harmony, some of the things that are existing here may not exist there, or we may not see them materialized through our senses. And what is existing in these higher levels of consciousness may have a materialization in their own dimension. And that's one of the things that he talked about that I just, my whole being went, yes, because that's what I have felt in terms of like why we are here to elevate our consciousness as things are polarizing so strongly in our reality right now. Right. And so I think that's why it's really important to ask, what is the change you wish to see in the world? What is your vision for that change? Who is it calling you to be? What dimension are you being called to live into? And I believe, this is Eric Winkle from the Ocean of Sound, one of our people we interviewed there. He's, amazing. We have interviewed some amazing people. I hope that you got to take advantage of those. But he talked about that everything is from the divine movie, if you will, right? It's he didn't use that word, but he called it the shadow play, right? That everything is projected through this membrane into this dimension, right? Into this limited dimension reality that we live in. And everything is exactly as it's supposed to be to play out in this realm, right? Now, we still have free will. We still have some choice into how we experience it and how we engage with it and what we choose to align with in the bigger picture of things. We do and we don't, right? But so everything is as it's supposed to be. And whichever way you go in the polarization is going to suit you. It's like how your soul is designed to like be happy there. But I ask you, how is your soul designed? What is in your heart? What is your vision for change? What is your vision for the model of the world that you want to live into? And who does it call you to be? As Gandhi says, be the change you wish to see in the world. And you don't have to wait for the world to change first. You can change to be that. and emanate, right? Be that level of consciousness, emanate that level of consciousness, begin to live in those realms, those higher dimensions now. Another thing that Eric Winkle talked about was the hidden dimension that actually elevates us and takes us to that uh, connection and closeness with our source, with what is beyond the curtain, if you will, is meaning. It is that which we find meaning in, is that which draws the heart, which the heart yearns for and draws the heart near to it. That's what really moves it. So what is the meaning that you feel in your heart? What is the passion? What is the yearning? And what is it calling you to be? What is it drawing you near to? As Gandhi says, be the change you wish to see in the world now. And as Buckminster Fuller talked about, live into the model. Live into the model of living and align with the systems of living that you want to live in when you are living in that realm you're called to live in, being who you're called to be in the change that you wish to see. So let's now lean into the heart. Lean into your heart, being purified with light and unconditional love, flooded and absorbing that unconditional love, and resting into that eternal compassion, this realm of safety. Right? Fear is what really separates us from that sense of really being able to connect in with that, I think, that divine sense of what's really coming from within and calling you from within yourself. So rest into that compassion and feel that connection and that safety holding you. Let yourself be contained and feel the security of being held in that womb. And feel into that. What is the change you wish to see in the world? Feel into that. And if you want to, once you feel into that, take a minute and write those down. You can write that down for yourself. What is the change you wish to see? And let yourself really feel it. Like as you feel, right? You feel through your heart. Just let that, like that feeling, right? That becomes the yearning, right? Let it well up within you and let the feeling really emanate out into your cellular consciousness and inform your cells, right? Inform your consciousness, your awareness on a deep level. That's what really brings about change. The change that we be and that we live into is by allowing ourselves to feel, let the feeling, the energy of the feeling well up and emanate into the cellular consciousness. That is what will begin to draw us near on every level. Becomes a yearning that we live into. It becomes a passion. So let yourself feel. What is the change you wish to see in the world? Feel the wishing, feel the wanting, feel the yearning. And as you feel that change you wish to see, imagine yourself living in that change. The change is already happened and you are living in it. Who do you be? What do you be? How do you be? And feel that. Who do you be? How do you be? What do you be? What are the divine attributes? Right? What are the attributes of your being? How do you describe? Are you a being of love, a being of compassion, a being of service, a being of sincerity, authenticity, of devotion? of trust, of faith, conviction? How do you hold yourself? How do you carry yourself? With confidence, certainty, dignity, beauty, what emanates from your being, forgiveness, gratitude, majesty. Like how do you describe your being? Who are you called to be? You a teacher, a guide, a manager, an orchestrator. What is your service? What is your role? Who do you be? And how do you be? And you can write those down as well. And as you feel that, or you get insight into what you be, just take a minute now and call directly on your source. Like imagine yourself face to face with your source, heart to heart with the light of your source, like your eye of your heart, that funnel, like facing directly to the light of your source, the heart of your source, and let that be heart to heart, receiving heart to heart that light from your source, and ask for your being to receive the template of who you are called to be, what you are called to be. And trust in the wisdom of your source, and just let your heart relax and breathe it in all the way into the core of your body, and let that vibration fill all of your body and resonate into every cell, all the way into the core of your being. And let it really light up, because this is something that's already known to you. That's why your heart yearns for it. So it already exists within your core energy body, within the life force energy of the center of your body. It's already there. So as this comes in, just let it really light up the circuitry that's already there, that you're yearning to reconnect with. Just let it be lit up. And as it's lit up, as it lights up, just let that light radiate from the core of your body all the way into your periphery, and let it illuminate this wisdom within every cell of your body. This is how you transform to be. Let yourself be transformed to be that which is calling you to be. Kun fayakun. As they say, be and it is. Kun fayakun. Be and it is. And the name kun means be, and it breaks down into the creator emanating from within the creation, the hidden emanating through that which is revealed or manifest. Kun fayakun means be and it is. Be and it is. Be and it is. Kun fayakun. So let that again light up the core of your body, and let that light radiate from the core of your body into all of your cells. Kun fayakun. Kun fayakun. And then I ask you, next question, what is the systems, if you will, for lack of a better word, How is it that you want to be living? By what systems do you want to live? What do you want to support? We mentioned the food system, the financial system, your work life. What is it that you want to be supporting with your energy, with your efforts? What is it that you want to be living into? And it may be like not necessarily that you can bend everything that you're living right now and turn it all on its head, but what can you begin to shift? And there may be some changes you can make in your purchasing, some changes you can make in what you support, what you watch, what you consume, what you listen to. It may be some changes in maybe even some volunteer work, or beginning to just do some research into what you can do to serve in your community, or to help in some way that you feel compelled to help. They say every dollar is a vote. I believe all the ways that we utilize our precious energy and mental power and emotional power and everything else is also a vote. The life force that we've been given, how do we expend it? How do we utilize it? All of that goes to support the things that we put it into. What are you supporting? Or is what you're supporting in your daily life empowering that which you wish to see in the world, that change you wish to see and to be? And if you get some insights into this, take a minute and write those down as well. And feel. Let your entire being feel. It is through the feeling that this energy emanates into our cellular consciousness and really helps us to shift. It's feeling. That feeling is that connection to the experience of meaning, of purpose. It's what drives us to change, right? And of course, we have to let that permeate into our beings and compel us to action, affect our actions as well, and our thoughts and our words and our hearts, everything. It's all one. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Align your actions, your sense of purpose with the change you wish to see and to be. Kun fayakun, be and it is, be and it is, be and it is. Remembering last week, reading from Fauzia's book. I'm going to look for it. If you feel like you want to write something down, take a minute to write it down. Okay, here's a piece right here. This isn't the one I was looking for, but I'll read this anyway. This is from Rosina Fauzia Arawi, Divine Names, the 99 Healing Names of the One Love. On the last paragraph on Al-Qadir. This is Al-Qadir. Yeah, Al-Qadir. One who is capable of everything, the powerful. Says, as a human being, you have the right to retaliate when you have been treated unfairly. It is human, it should not be judged, and it is understandable on the human level. Yet as we grow and mature, it is our duty to reach that place where we no longer respond in kind, because hate cannot extinguish hate. Only love can. Martin Luther King said that as well. Yet when human beings are not far enough on the path to be able to do so, it does not mean that they are bad and they should not be judged, because we are all in the process of growing and maturing. The good comes from you, Allah. This is a quote speaking to Source, to Allah. The good comes from you, Allah, but not the evil, although everything comes from you, Allah. So everything comes from one source, and it's all here, as we said, in its perfect place. Maybe that is what I was supposed to read, because I'm not finding the one that I was looking for. Maybe it's in a different place. Let's see if I can remember it. No, I'm losing it now. So I think that's what I was supposed to read. And that just, it reinforces that as we elevate our consciousness into the higher dimensions, what does that mean, right? The higher dimensions, as we said, that meaning, that purpose, that passion that draws us closer when we desire meaning and purpose, when that is that, it is that breath of source that breathes us, that lives in and through our bodies, that touches and fans the flame inside the heart as that breath moves across the heart. It fans that flame of passion inside, and that is what draws us near. That's what draws us closer to source. That's what elevates the consciousness and the dimension, right? Takes us into living into those higher realms. That is what elevates, so that we can live into those places where, God willing, we can then have an experience of peace and universal harmony, where everything has a materialization in its own dimension, and what exists in one dimension may not be visible or be able to experience from another dimension. So as things are polarizing in our material realm, what is the dimension you want to live into? What is the experience of the world that you want to have? Elevate your consciousness, let that meaning and that passion powerfully draw you to the source of that which calls you to elevate your consciousness, elevate you into the higher dimensions where you can experience the unconditional love and the universal harmony and the peace. Peace, not, what was the word we said? So, not polarization, right? Not to be in the midst of the polarization, but elevate to a place where you can live in peace and universal harmony, God willing. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. And that doesn't mean that you don't say no and put up the boundaries and be firm against that which you do not want to see in your world. But how do you respond? You cannot respond in kind hate with hate and expect to elevate to a place of peace. So which do you choose? Where is your heart happy? Right? I invite you to peace. You go where your heart calls you to be, because that is the place where your heart and soul will find its home. Right? Where is your home? Okay. Where is your home? Right. So breathe that in. If you've got any notes that you want to, like anything you want to write down, I'm going to end the recording and I'll do the little ending piece here, and then we'll open for any Q&A or discussion. If you're listening to the recording, you're invited to join us live on Sundays at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. Find information for joining us live at communityforconsciousliving.com, communityforconsciousliving.com. While you're there, sign up to receive the reminders and the replays of these live events, and you will receive 2 free gifts. One of them is a one sheet that you can print out and put wherever, or put it as a backdrop on your phone or your computer. remind you 10 spiritual principles of our human existence, why we're here, what this world is about, what our existence is about, what this journey is about. Helps us to keep things in context so that we can stay in, God willing, in that state of or return to that state of unity and universal harmony. And the other one is a 15-minute downloadable guided meditation that will help you, as we did at the beginning of this, to connect with that pure divine light, the unconditional love, and the eternal compassion. Yes, the unconditional love, the pure divine light, and the eternal compassion. That is the core of your being, the essence of your divine self that is living in and through this human form. All right, and with that, I'm going to end our recording and open for the Q&A. Thank you very much.